today's video, we're going to be working on rounding decimals. In this example, we're going to do round to the nearest whole number. On the first one, we have 42.803. On the second one, we have 118.63. On the third one, we have 7.458. On the fourth one, we have 29.42. On the fifth one, we have 79.631. And on the sixth, we have 20.03. Okay, and we're rounding on whole numbers. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do, just underline the numbers since we're rounding to a whole number. We're going to look at these numbers here, one after the decimal, since we're rounding to the whole numbers. Okay, so remember, if you have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, we're rounding up. If we have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, we are rounding down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just write it right here so you can have an idea. Remember that when we're on 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, we are rounding up. And when we have 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, we're going to be rounding down or leaving it the same. So in this one we have 42.08, so we're going to go ahead and round up. The arrow's up, so this number is going to be 43. We have 118.63, we have 6. Look down here, 6. We're going to go ahead and round up, so we're going to round to 119. Here we have 7.458. We have 4. We're rounding down, so we're just leaving it the same, so we're going to round it to 7. And then we have 29.42. We have 4, same, is rounding down. We're just going to leave it as 29. And then we have 79.631. We have a 6. And if we go down, you know the 6, we're rounding up. So instead of being 79, we're going to round it up to 80. And then we have the last problem, number 6. We have 20.03, which we're going to round down or leave it the same as 20. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like and subscribe. On this problem, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So we're going to go on each problem and look for the tenths place. And we have 3s and tenths place, so we're going to go ahead and underline the 1, because we're going 1 over to 1 when we round. So we're going to go tenths place, and then we go to the hundredths. Got here, same, tenths, then we go to the next one, tenths, to the next one, the tenths, the hundredths. And that's how the numbers we're going to use when it comes to rounding. So same thing, we look at the problems before that, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We're going to go ahead and going to be rounding up. And 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, we're going to go ahead and round down. So for the first one, we have 33.315, and we're looking at the 1. So when we look at that, we're rounding down. So our answer is going to be 33.3. And for the second one, we have 1.771. We're going to look at 7. And we know that 7, we're rounding up. So our answer is going to be 1.8. And we go on the third one, we have 99.85. We know that 5, we're going to be rounding up, so that 8 becomes a 9. So our answer should be 99.9. On the fourth problem, we have 7.831. We're going to look at the 3. And the 3, we're rounding down. So our answer is going to be 7.8. We don't move the 8, the 8 stays the same. On number 5, we have 271.03. And we're going to look at the 3, and we know the 3 is rounding down. So our answer is going to be 271.0, or you can just leave it as 271. On number 6, we have 16.042. We're going to look at the 4, and then we know that the 4, we are rounding down. So we're going to leave it as 16. You can leave it as 16, or you can go ahead and just leave it as 16.0. It's the same thing. On these next examples, we're going to be doing round to the nearest hundredths. So we're gonna go ahead and locate what is our hundreds, because this is our tenth, hundredths. So we're gonna go ahead and round, we're gonna look at the thousands place, okay? So we're gonna go on the third number to the right from the decimal point. So we go 1, 2, 3, that's gonna be in our thousands place. So that's what we're gonna be looking for to be able to round to the nearest hundreds. So same thing, we're gonna go tens, hundreds, and we're gonna look at the thousands. Same thing for that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I underline it, everything that is in the thousands place before I round, so I can make it easier for myself. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say 69.64, the 2. And we know that the 2 is rounding down, so we're gonna go and round 69.64 because we round down, so we're not gonna move the 4, it's just still gonna stay the same. Then we do 4.578. The 8, if you remember, is rounding up, so we're gonna move the 7, and the 7 is gonna become an 8. We're still gonna leave the 5 itself. The only number we're moving is the 7 to be 8. Then we have 508, still stays the same, since we're not moving none of that, so we're just doing nearest hundreds. 8, and then we're gonna move the 1, because the 7 we're rounding up, and that 1 becomes a 2. Then we have 14.021. We're looking at the 1, and we know that the 1 is rounding down, so the 2 is not gonna move, it's still gonna stay the same. So our answer is gonna be 14.02. And then the 5th we have 13, that does not change. 7, and then we're gonna look at 8 if it's gonna change or not. And we know that 5, we're rounding up, so we know that the 8 is gonna become a 9. Then we have 7.579. The 7 still the same. The 5 still stays the same. The only one that's going to change 7, if you have to, in this case we are, because the 9 we're always rounding up, so that 7 becomes an 8.